What if I told you, every thought you're having right now, positive or negative, is quietly programming the reality you're living in? This isn't mystical folklore. It's what quantum science, the field rewriting how we see the world, keeps pointing to. And if that's true, then your life today isn't random. It's a mirror reflecting what you thought, believed, and felt. Don't look away. What you're about to hear may change the lens you use to see your entire life. We live in a busy America. Bills, deadlines, notifications, breaking news. In the rush, have you ever wondered why the same problems keep looping? Why you keep meeting the same patterns, even when you try to change? The answer isn't out there. It's in your brain and your heart. Today, we're taking a different kind of journey, where quantum science meets ancient spiritual wisdom. You'll see how every thought and every emotion carries energy, forms a frequency, and that frequency attracts the people, events, and opportunities that match it. This isn't just theory. Researchers and teachers like Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden have explored these ideas through science and practice. Stay to the end, and you'll leave with 2 simple tools you can use right away to shift your frequency and the flow of your reality. This isn't a coincidence. This is a signal for you. The hidden power in your thoughts. Did you know your brain fires off more than 60,000 thoughts a day? And most of them repeat from yesterday and the day before? Picture a typical morning. Alarm. Phone. Emails. Texts. News. You drive to work with your mind racing through to-dos. Before you know it, your whole day has passed inside a stream of thoughts, mostly worry, stress, fear. What most people don't realize is this: those thoughts don't just stay in your head. They send out electromagnetic signals that extend beyond your body and interact with the field around you. Every thought is like a radio signal, and the universe is listening. Joe Dispenza puts it this way: thoughts send the signal out. Emotions draw the experience back. You're not just thinking, you're broadcasting. And life responds with situations, people, and outcomes that resonate with that signal. If you keep thinking, I'm not good enough, you broadcast lack and insecurity. You'll bump into experiences that confirm it: rejections, disrespect, comparison. If you think, I'm growing and learning every day, you broadcast expansion. Then the helpers, opportunities, and synchronicities start to appear. This isn't only spiritual language. The brain is an electromagnetic organ. Thoughts create brain waves. Emotions shift the heart's electromagnetic field, measurably stronger than the brain's. Together, thought plus feeling becomes real energy in space. Greg Braden calls it the quantum field of connection. Everything from subatomic particles to galaxies is linked through energy. Every time you think, you're touching that field and sending a message into it. See why life can feel like a loop? If yesterday's thoughts were 95% worry and today's are the same, you're broadcasting the same frequency, so the field can only mirror more of the same. That's why change often fails when it's only on the surface. You switch the action outside, but not the signal inside. To create a new reality, don't chase the outer world first. Go inward. Shift the frequency of your thoughts and emotions. And this is just the surface. Quantum science suggests something wild. A single thought can change how the material world responds to you. Which brings us to the observer effect. The observer effect: attention shapes outcome. What if simply looking at a tiny particle changes how it behaves? It sounds like magic, but it's one of quantum physics' most famous findings. In the double-slit experiment, electrons fired at 2 slits behave like waves when unobserved, creating interference patterns as if they passed through both slits at once. But when scientists measure which slit the electron goes through, the wave collapses. The electron behaves like a particle and picks a single path. In other words, observation changes the result. That's the observer effect. Our awareness isn't passive, it influences matter. Think about real life. When you focus on something, you start seeing more of it. You're thinking about buying a red Toyota, and suddenly, red Toyotas are everywhere. They didn't magically multiply. Your attention, the observer, pulled that layer of reality into view. Where attention goes, energy flows. If you keep placing attention on fear, the electrons of your life fall into fearful patterns. Focus on faith and possibility, and options arrange themselves to match. Imagine radio. Dozens of stations are around you right now. You only hear the frequency you tune to. Reality is a sea of possibilities, but you experience the one you focus on. Many people feel stuck because they keep focusing on the same problem and, by doing so, recreate the same reality. The good news: move your attention, and the world you experience moves with it. So if your awareness can influence electrons, the building blocks of your body, your work, your relationships, what might it do for your life as a whole? Reality isn't fixed. It responds to you, the observer. Which raises the next question: what frequency are your thoughts and feelings broadcasting? The field and your frequency. Every emotion you feel, joy or anxiety, broadcasts a signal. The universe answers in that frequency. Think about a morning when everything clicked. Sunshine. Your favorite playlist. Green lights all the way. An unexpected free pastry from the barista. And then the opposite mornings: late, traffic, tense emails, and somehow everything piles on. It's not random. It's the law of vibration at work. Research from HeartMath shows the human heart generates a measurable electromagnetic field extending several feet beyond the body. When you feel love or gratitude, that field becomes coherent and harmonious. In anger or fear, it turns chaotic. This field interacts with your environment, with other people, and with the larger quantum field. Put simply, emotion is the language you speak to the universe. Thoughts are the electrical signal from the brain. Emotions are the magnetic field from the heart. Together they create your broadcast frequency, your address, for what life delivers. Worried about money all the time? You broadcast lack, and attract bills, surprise expenses. Practice gratitude for what's here? You broadcast sufficiency, and opportunities, support, and income start to show up. That's why you hear. Raise your vibration. A positive song, a workout, or 5 slow breaths can shift your frequency, and life reflects it fast. Remember the radio analogy. You can't get jazz on a rock station. The universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you broadcast. So ask yourself, what station am I tuned to today? If it's worry and fear, you call in more of the same. If it's gratitude and love, you invite synchronicities, the right people, the right moments, the right signs. Speaking of signs, let's talk synchronicity and the law of attraction. Synchronicity and the law of attraction. Do you keep seeing 1111? Think of a friend, and they text you? These aren't random. They're signals, feedback from the field. In modern American life, people report these meaningful coincidences all the time. Your burnout whisper, "I need a new job." And the next day you spot a posting that's perfect. You're debating leaving a toxic relationship, and a billboard reads, "It's time to let go." Carl Jung called it synchronicity, meaningful coincidence. Spiritually, synchronicity is a message from the universe. In quantum language, it's the interference pattern between your personal field and the larger field of possibilities. When your broadcast is clear, life rearranges to match it. This is the law of attraction in motion, not just a self-help slogan, but the natural behavior of energy. Dwell on lack, experience more lack. Cultivate gratitude and sufficiency. Synchronicities open doors, helpers, resources. Picture a 35-year-old office worker in New York. One night he meditates and visualizes a freer, more creative life. The next morning, 11:11. On the commute, a podcast, how to start your own business. That afternoon, a text from an old friend. "I'm launching something. Want in?" Coincidence? Maybe. Or, by changing his emotional frequency through meditation and visualization, he synced with a new timeline where those chances already existed. Synchronicity is the handshake telling you you're aligned. Greg Braden says, "The universe doesn't speak in words, it speaks in coincidences. When they show up, don't shrug them off. Ask, what in me called this in? Where is it pointing?" Treat synchronicity like a secret map, from an old reality to a higher one. To understand how inner change creates outer change, let's bring in neuroscience, neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, your brain can rewire. Good news, you're not stuck with your current brain. It can rewire, at any age, and that's how you change your reality. Imagine a 40-year-old woman in California who's worried about money for years. Every time she opens her banking app, her chest tightens and the thought lands, "I'll never get out of debt." Repeat that long enough and it becomes a mental groove, a well-worn path the brain takes automatically. That's how the brain works. Repeated thoughts wire strong networks. We call them thinking habits. Here's the wonder, neuroplasticity. Learn something new, think in a new way, change a habit, your brain forms new connections. You can tear up the old worry trail and build new highways of confidence and creativity. Joe Dispenza compares it to reinstalling your operating system. Repeat a positive thought with real emotion, and the brain builds new wiring. The body learns a new baseline frequency. Spend 5 minutes each morning visualizing yourself living in sufficiency. Feel the lightness, the relief, the gratitude. Your brain starts tagging that emotion as familiar reality. You don't just think different, you feel different. That state broadcasts a new signal, and synchronicities and opportunities follow. Neuroscience in plain English. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Stop repeating the old thought, old wiring weakens. Repeat a new belief with strong emotion, new wiring strengthens. You're not a victim of automatic thoughts. You can train your brain to respond differently. Spiritually, this is where neuroplasticity meets the law of attraction. Change the inner wiring plus the emotional frequency, and the broadcast changes. The universe mirrors it back. So stop asking, "How do I escape this loop?" Start asking, "What new loop do I want to build?" Which brings up a thrilling idea. If multiple patterns exist, maybe multiple realities do too. Parallel realities and timeline shifts. What if you don't live in just one reality, but many at once? What if every thought and choice moves you to a new timeline? The many worlds interpretation of quantum physics suggests that when possibilities arise, they all unfold, each in its own branch of reality. Stand at a fork in the road. Turn left, one reality. Turn right, another. In the quantum view, both exist. You're only aware of the branch you're walking. A 38-year-old in Texas hates his corporate job. Daily thought, "I'll be stuck here forever." That thought keeps him in a stuck timeline. One day, he changes it. He meditates, visualizes freedom and meaningful work, journals as his future self. Then, synchronicity, a conversation with a potential partner, a small business idea. He steps onto a new timeline, from drained employee to energized entrepreneur. He didn't create from thin air, he changed the station. The new timeline was always available. He connected by changing his signal. Dispenza calls it quantum jumping. Change thought plus emotion, change brain plus field shift timeline. Think Netflix. Thousands of movies exist in your account at once. The one on your screen depends on your choice. Life is the same. All possibilities live in the field. Which one you stream depends on your thoughts, feelings, and focus. If you feel stuck, you're just rewatching the same old movie. Change the channel, beliefs, vibration, actions, and you're in a new film. So ask, which timeline do you choose, fear and scarcity, or freedom and creativity? The best part, you don't need 5 years. In a single moment, this moment, change your thinking and you've stepped onto a new path. Life will begin to rearrange. Want proof? Here's a real-world story. A personal awakening. Imagine hitting rock bottom, and one shift in thought opens a brand new life. Meet Michael, 42, from Chicago. From the outside, stable job, steady income, a small house in the suburbs. Inside, exhaustion. Wake up tired. Dread work. Come home lonely. Burnout. Michael's inner soundtrack. This is my fate. I'll be stuck here forever. I'll never be good enough to do what I love. Life mirrored that belief. Missed chances, fragile relationships, growing hopelessness. One night on YouTube, he hears a video about thought, energy, and the quantum field. He's skeptical, but one line hits him. You're not a victim. You're the creator of your life. He can't sleep. He wonders, what if my thinking has kept me stuck? What if I tried thinking differently, just once? He tries. Each morning, he sits for 10 minutes. Breathes slowly. Visualizes a different version of himself, confident, energized, doing the creative work he loved as a kid, graphic design. He doesn't just think it. He feels it. At first, nothing. Then small synchronicities. A coworker asks him to design a poster. An old friend texts, wants a freelance partner. He keeps noticing 1111, a sign he once ignored that now feels like a wink from the universe. Within 6 months, he has enough freelance work to leave the office job. He's not the drained, stuck man anymore. He's living in a new timeline, creativity, joy, freedom. Michael's story isn't overnight success. It's evidence of a principle. Change your thoughts, change your energy. Change your energy, change your reality. If Michael could do it, why not you? Where science meets spirit. The miracle is this: what ancient wisdom taught for millennia, quantum science is now beginning to confirm. For thousands of years, Eastern sages said, mind creates world. Buddha taught, all that we are arises with our thoughts. Hindu philosophy called the world Maya, a tapestry woven by consciousness. Today, quantum physics speaks a parallel language of particles, waves, and energy. Einstein said, reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Matter isn't as solid as it seems, it's vibrating energy in a field. Tesla urged, if you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Exactly what we've explored, thought plus feeling equals frequency, which links us to the field. Deepak Chopra reminds us, your body isn't a structure, it's a process of energy and information in a vast energy field. We're not separate from the universe. We're in it, and of it. Put it all together. Quantum consciousness influences matter, observer effect. Neuroplasticity, the brain reprograms to match new beliefs. Ancient wisdom, you are the creator, thought and feelings shape your world. One truth emerges. You're not a tiny speck in a giant universe. You're a participant in the quantum field of all possibilities, a co-creator of your reality. So look at your life. How often do you label yourself a victim of circumstance? The universe isn't against you. It's reflecting the frequency you emit. Change the signal, one thought, one feeling, and a new possibility opens. This is why practices like meditation, visualization, and gratitude journaling aren't woo. They're tools to sync you with the quantum field, the ocean of possibilities. Now let's practice. 2 simple practices to shift your frequency. Knowing is one thing. Experiencing changes everything. Try these 2 simple tools, do them consistently, and they can shift your frequency and the flow of your life. 1. Breathing plus visualization. Hailed by spiritual teachers and explored by researchers like Joe Dispenza because breath bridges mind and body. How to? Find a quiet spot. Silence notifications. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. One hand on heart, one on belly. Inhale through your nose for 4. Hold 4. Slow exhale through your mouth for 6 to 7. Repeat at least 5 cycles. While breathing, visualize the new you, healthy, free, abundant. See colors, sounds, faces? Most important, feel it as if it's happening now. Notice the body soften, the heart warm, gratitude spreading. That's the moment you've tuned to a new timeline. Suggested time, 10 minutes daily, morning or before bed. 2. Gratitude journaling. Studies out of the University of California show that writing at least 3 things you're grateful for daily correlates with more happiness, less stress, and better physical well-being. How to? Keep a small notebook or a notes app. Each evening, write 3 things you're grateful for. They can be tiny: a great coffee, a stranger's smile, a quiet sunset. Don't just list. Feel the gratitude in your chest. This resets your emotional frequency. The more you broadcast gratitude, the more life sends you things to be grateful for. Suggested time, 5 minutes before bed. Why it works. Breath plus visualization breaks old mental loops, builds new neural wiring, and sends a new signal into the field. Gratitude journaling trains the heart into coherent emotion, matching the vibration of sufficiency and abundance. Together, you're changing both the brain and the field, a powerful 1-2 that shifts your timeline. You don't need hours on a cushion or a perfect space. 15 minutes a day, 10 for breath/visualization, 5 for gratitude, can create a real shift. Remember, consistency beats intensity. A single day may not look dramatic, but after a few weeks you'll feel the difference, in your energy, your mood, and the synchronicities showing up. Soon you'll understand deeply. Reality isn't what happens to you. Reality happens from you. We've walked a long road together, from the hidden power of thought, to the observer effect, to vibration, synchronicity, neuroplasticity, and timeline shifts. It all points to one truth: reality isn't fixed. It reflects what you think, feel, and believe. You are not a product of your circumstances. You are not chained to your past. Every moment, you're sending a signal into the quantum field, and life echoes it back. You don't need to wait. You don't need magic from the outside. The magic is already in you. It begins with one new thought, one new feeling, one new choice. Maybe you've lived in an old loop for years. It only takes one awakened moment to pivot. Change within, and the outer world must follow. You're not a victim. You are the creator of your life. If you're still here, I don't believe you found this by accident. This is your signal. If this resonated, hit like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Quantum Energy Shift. Our journey into consciousness and quantum is just beginning. I'd love to hear your story. Have you experienced a synchronicity that proved your thoughts shape your reality? Drop it in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs. Next up, we'll dive into the quantum secret behind angel numbers 1111, 222, 333, where science meets spirit, with practical steps to help you truly jump into a new version of your life. Don't miss it. I'll see you in the next episode. And remember, you're not a victim. You are the creator of your life.